Hey there guys, John Campea here. Thanks for visiting my vlog, and I'm here to talk about Season 4, Episode 1, The Flash is back. For those of you who've watched me for any period of time, you know I absolutely love this show. I wasn't very big on the idea of it at first, but I have grown to really appreciate this show. Now, I really like the season opener too, but no show is perfect, so let me get the things out of the way that I didn't quite like about this episode, this first episode, this premiere episode of the new season. And I'm going to start with this, and this is one of the consistent problems I find in the Flash shows, okay? Sometimes problems come up and they're just solved way too easy. Here's an example. There's another CW show that's actually probably like my favorite show on television right now, which is Supernatural. When they end a season with a big brand new problem coming up at the end of the season, they don't just solve it in the first episode of the next season. It can become an entire season-long quest to solve that problem. So here's an example. One of the recent seasons ended with them accidentally releasing the darkness. The entire next season was about them dealing with the repercussions of that and dealing with the darkness. When we last left the Flash had to sacrifice himself to go into the Speed Force to be a prisoner there forever. When we come back, season 1, halfway through the first episode, Cisco just goes, "Oh yeah, that big thing that we thought was a world-ending problem at the end of the last season? I've been working on it, I got it fixed," and boom, just like that, the problem's fixed, they get Barry back. And the problem is Flash has done that before where they've ended a season with, oh, there's this big, huge problem, and then the moment the next season starts, boom, they just fix it. Now that's fine for this new season, but what it does to me now is when we get to the end of future seasons and something big and horrible happens at the end of the season, I'm not going to care because I'm going to go, it doesn't matter what it is, they're just going to fix it in the first episode of the next season anyway. And the other thing is this, I have actually grown to appreciate the Iris character a lot. I believe the Iris character has a role in this show, and I've really come to appreciate the character. However, I understand she is the love interest of the Flash, but when the Flash suddenly goes, wait a minute, hold on a second here. So you're telling me the one person in this group with no superpowers, no computer knowledge, no real science knowledge, no tactics knowledge, she's now the de facto leader of the group? I mean, seriously, somebody's going to have to jump into the comments section and explain to me how the person who doesn't know science, doesn't know computers, doesn't know tactics, has no superpowers, is really just yesterday was a reporter, is now leader of Team Flash. And really, that's about it. Those are the only two things that bother me. There's significant things, but that's about it. Other than that, it just felt so good to being back in the Flash universe again. And yes, I just complained that they fixed the problem of Barry's disappearance into the Speed Force just like that. But at the same time, I'm kind of happy that they did because now we get the flashback and we get to jump right back into it. And one of the things I loved about that was that for the first time, I think ever in this show, you started to feel a sense of Barry's power, of his pure power. I mean, really, up to this point, we've always thought as Barry as this guy who's just got this trick up his sleeve. He's also a speedster, yay, and he's a hero. But you never got that raw sense of power from him. And that moment when he's sitting in the lab and he's drawing the crazy symbols and he's still talking crazy, and all of a sudden out of nowhere his head turns and the vibrations start and the eyes start to glow, you really got this sense that I've never gotten from him before in the show, which is you're in the presence of power. And I thought that felt great. It was also really good to see Cisco embracing more of his vibe persona. Now, they've been teasing that he has vibe powers, okay, yes, but we haven't seen him embrace being vibe yet at this point. And it feels like when the episode starts that in the previous 6 months, he's taken an active on-the-street superhero role, fighting alongside Kid Flash at the same time, kind of protecting the city in Barry's absence. And that was really good to see. I hope we continue to see more of that. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing Cisco in the lab, but I've been kind of getting the itch to see Cisco more outside the lab. And if the season premiere tells us anything, it kind of feels like that maybe they're foreshadowing that we're going to get to see him actually in action more. And that would actually be pretty nice. But I think my absolute favorite angle of this season premiere was that of Caitlin / Killer Frost. The whole Hulk thing, I loved it. I love the fact that they tipped their hat to the Hulk thing because it seems like they're setting up that she loses control and becomes Killer Frost, and then she regains control and comes back to Caitlin, kind of like a Dr. Banner in the Incredible Hulk thing. And she even paid homage to that by, instead of saying, "Don't make me angry, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry," she says, "Don't make me frosty, you wouldn't like me when I'm frosty." I chuckle. I was watching the show alone and I started to laugh out loud. I thought that was a great homage. And besides just setting up this duality character of Caitlin and Killer Frost, clearly she's got a backstory now over the past 6 months. She's clearly been working with some nasty people and she now wants out, and obviously we know that's not over with right now. So they did some great things with this opening episode. First of all, introducing this duality character with Caitlin, but also letting us know, giving us a little bit of a hint that she's got a story to tell for everything she's been doing the last 6 months. Maybe she's been getting into trouble. Maybe she's just been trying to survive. Maybe she's been doing things that she'll regret a little bit later. Don't know, but I'm absolutely sure as this season unfolds, we're going to find that mystery out. So yeah, aside from the fact that they just solved some problems way too quickly, including Barry's dimensions, like, Iris is in trouble. Oh, okay, I'm fine now. That was a little bit too easy. Solving the problem of the Speed Force prison a little bit too easily. What the hell was Iris doing now, suddenly being the leader of the team? A little bit too easy. But aside from those things, and I'm not saying those are insignificant, I just think there was a lot of really good stuff in here that made me just happy that The Flash is back. Anyway, that will do it for me, guys, for this quick review of The Flash Season 4, Episode 1. I'll be back again next week to talk about the next episode. Guys, while you're here, why don't you take a second, click on the subscribe button, become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. Make sure you're following me on social media. Just following me on Twitter, simply at John Campea. That'll do it for me for now, guys. Thanks so much for joining me, and until the next video, bye-bye.